The Morning Dump from Hurrdat Sports with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning.
Congratulations to Westside and DB for winning the state championship yesterday, and I'll get into that in just a sec. We are at Hale Varsity Club, the best place to watch sports, and maybe you caught some high school football action here yesterday, but Monday was more of a Monday mania when it came to the sports on TV. It kicked off with the U.S. men's national team. They tied, unfortunately, but it's not the worst thing that takes place early on in the group stage. And then, of course, it was Creighton men's basketball at 1:30. They found a way to win against Texas Tech. A big second half from them. Dominant showing from the Blue Jays group. And if you went later on into the night, that's where you got some West Side football, maybe some Monday night football, and even Omaha men's basketball, but they fell at the hands of Iowa in that game. Hale Varsity Club, though, one of the best venues for food, drinks, whatever you'd like for family and friends to come out and just have a great night. Along with that, Hale Varsity is the best place when it comes to grabbing your news coming out of Lincoln. You're looking for the first thing happening with the Huskers, you go to halevarsity.com. You can't tell me that you don't. And by doing so, you only get like 1 or 2 free articles if you aren't signed up for a subscription. Well, sign up for that subscription because you get the magazine, you get all the articles online, plus if you use the promo code AR, you get money off your monthly subscription.
I'll take it.
And DB's not here to argue that today. So maybe I just sit back and say there's no other promo code that you can use, and I think that's
man.
I think that's it. Oh, he's here in spirit. He's here in spirit.
Now, do you tell Sipple to put that in his pipe and smoke it?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
You can use his promo code DB for yearly, but don't be that guy or gal. Use AR, get that monthly subscription. You get the perks, you get everything, and you get, just like I said, a great team of writers feeding you the information that you want to hear. Let's go into this football game, though, because Westside Gretna may have been the game of the year. And, it's cheesy and cliche to say that when it's the state championship game. But what a game that was. 28 first-quarter points for the Warriors and an eventual 31-14 lead early on in the second quarter. Caleb Benning, back after injuring his collarbone, had 2 picks in the early goings to really help get Westside the buffer room they needed against a quarterback as good, as great as Zane Flores is.
Damn right, yes. I am embarrassed.
And it still wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Talk about resiliency from Gretna in this football game in all facets of the game. Defensively, forcing 3 and outs. Their star-studded Power 5 quarterback could do what he does best after that.
Well, the game gave you everything.
You forced 3 and outs late in that game. You put the ball in the hands of your Power 5 quarterback, and now all he can do is score at a high rate. And he did. He threw for a finals record of 414 yards. And you'd think, wow, great job, Zane, and this Gretna team for fighting back and winning like they've already done once this year. Insert the Bellevue West game.
Wow.
But he wasn't the hero. He was not the hero. In fact, the hero in this game, taking home the Raji Award for MVP performance, has a boot the size of Justin Tucker. That's right. I'm not talking quarterback. I'm not talking running back. I'm not talking wide receiver, defensive player. No. I'm not even talking somebody on the coaching staff. Sorry, DB. This award does not go to you. I'm talking about the best position on the football field. That's right, the kicker. You heard it here first. The kicker. Tristan Alvano did work. He did what every 8-year-old dreams of in their backyard. And I'm not talking about you're playing basketball and you're counting down like 3, 2, 1, and then you break the shot and you're like, oh, there's still time left. 3, 2, 1. No, I'm talking about lining up for a field goal and having one chance at it, and he grabbed it. He grabbed it. One shot, one opportunity to seize everything he ever wanted. And he captured it. He didn't let it slip. Eminem. That's Eminem, Shane. I don't know if you're a big Eminem fan. That's Eminem.
E-Minin? Yeah, I know who he is.
You know who Eminem is, right?
I know, yeah.
45-yard field goal at the buzzer. I freaking love kickers. Shane, I freaking love kickers. It's in my Twitter bio.
That you love kickers?
I love kickers. Look
That's
it up.
awesome.
At Andrew Rogers TV. It's in the bio. It's been in the bio for like 4 years' time now. I love kickers for this reason. I love when the game comes down to the wire and you put the game in the hands of somebody that's been standing on the sidelines for the majority of the game, just watching. Maybe the hands are stuffed in the little, fleece pocket that you have on the front of your jersey. And you're watching the game and you're just thinking about that moment. You're thinking about when you're coming in next, the next big kick. And Tristan Alvano is just a kid that lives up to the moment. He's a kid that plays with the maturity level of an NFL kicker. He goes out there and he knows he's going to make the field goal. I'm shocked. I am shocked this kid only has a walk-on offer from Nebraska. I'm shocked that no team has really gone all in on him as a kicker and snagged him to be their kicker of the future. I'm completely shocked. Now, all he did was build his resume in this football game by nailing 5 kicks, 5 being a playoff record, state playoff record, by the way.
He got it!
And his 16 total on the season broke the state record by 1, too. Plus, he added, a 57-yard field goal in playoffs already this year? This guy is insane. But why does it take so long for somebody to realize that, hey, kickers can win you a football game? Kickers can win you a state championship. Kickers can win you a national championship if he's on the right team. Kickers win games. Think about if Alabama in the Iron Bowl a while back against Auburn had Mr. Tristan Alvano kicking from, how far was that field goal? Probably 57 in that game. And instead of seeing Auburn run the ball all the way back and knock off Alabama in the Iron Bowl, you see Tristan Alvano celebrating at midfield because he buried the game-winning field goal for Bama in that game. You have a kicker with a leg like him, you add him to your team. You add him to your team. How about a total page flip, too, from last year's state title game to this year's? Because this was a rematch, as everybody knows. 7-3 was the final last year, and it ended on a goal line stand. This year ends in Westside's favor on a game-winning field goal. And the outcome is 43-41. We had Mike Sauter on Friday here on the Morning Dump, and he had said he saw this game being more like a 17-14 game. And I told DB, I'm like, man, based on watching these two teams this year, I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be high scoring. But then I presented this moment.
How crazy, how special, how awesome would it be for you to see Tristan trot onto the field in a game that's tied so that you don't have a lot of stress, and he's kicking from the logo at Memorial Stadium, and he just knocks it through.
Yeah, it's been great. We have college goalposts on our practice field, so he is well aware of what
his tight window he has to fit
looks like, right? Everybody was, why are you guys down on the lower field? Why are you guys down on the lower field? Well, those college goalposts we put in with the idea of wanting to play in Lincoln one day. And so, we want to practice on that. So, and that would be great. He's a competitive kid, and he likes the moment.
He loved the moment in that game. You could tell. I saw him trot onto the field, and there was no sign of disbelief that he was going to miss that field goal. No sign. But even crazier that we painted that moment just days before it actually happened. Well done, Westside. Congratulations. Great fight by Gretna, too, in this football game to come back. And if Nebraska does not offer Tristan Alvano by the end of this year, I will be very sad. Because I would love to see the local kid stay in town and work his magic at Memorial Stadium for years and years to come. Also, Clarkson, Lee, and Hitchcock County won their respective state championships, so congratulations to them. Let's transition now, though, to the college football playoff, because the 4th of 6 rankings come out tonight, and it's hard to believe that it won't look like this. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. You may see a flip-flop there. It could be TCU, Michigan. But then you'll have USC, I think, that will bounce to 5. And LSU will remain at 6, Clemson at 7. Tennessee drops out. I think based on the percentages and the likelihood of them making the college football playoff, it went from like 67% to 9% after losing to South Carolina last weekend. But there could be some major shifting in just 1 week. Georgia, they won't lose to Georgia Tech. TCU, they'll beat Iowa State. LSU should beat Texas A&M, and Clemson should beat South Carolina. But as I just said, we saw how Tennessee fared against the Gamecocks last weekend. If TCU jumps Michigan, though, in the college football playoff rankings, it will put more pressure on the Wolverines this coming Saturday. The 3 question marks going into this weekend: USC taking on Notre Dame. Another ranked team. Yes, USC just took down a top 10 opponent, clinched themselves a Pac-12 championship berth. But the only way they make the college football playoff is if they beat Notre Dame now and they win the Pac-12 championship. And then, of course, the one that will shake everything up is the Ohio State-Michigan game. There's no telling what could happen in the Big Ten game of the year. Some call it the college football game of the year. I don't know if I can call it that because I already called Georgia-Tennessee the college football game of the year. And the more I say game of the year this, game of the year that, I'm getting less and less credible.
Well, they're running specials on it, too. They're going to have hour-long specials before the game, days before the game, just on that game.
You're absolutely right. And the playmaking question marks in this matchup: Blake Corum for Michigan. He exited with the knee injury against Illinois. And Jackson Smith and Jigba for Ohio State. But they have seemed to not take even the slightest step back with not having him on the football field. They also open as 8.5-point favorites. To a degree, I think that's high. I think Vegas has it a little high right now, above the key number. Yes, I know Michigan avoided the scare last week against Illinois, but everybody has those games, and I say it all the time. Great teams win football games when they're at their worst, when they aren't playing their best football, when they battle through adversity and find a way to win games. That's what separates a good team from a great team. So I don't look too much into the fact that they only won by 2 points. I know they were favored by 18.5 points, but they still found a way to win that football game. And to me, that's all that matters at this point. Even if they take a step back in the college football playoff rankings and drop to 4, I still think that they are a more complete team than Ohio State. And some may call me crazy for saying that, but I do. I really do. I think they are more structurally sound on offense and on defense. Now, if USC jumps LSU for the number 5 spot in those rankings, the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game, well, let's just say they should be concerned. Because if Michigan does end up losing to Ohio State, Michigan does not have the strength of schedule that Ohio State has, and it's minuscule, right? It's that Notre Dame win that Ohio State has the leg up there. But Michigan doesn't have a win like that this year. Their win would be Ohio State. Ohio State, yes, even if they lose to Michigan, well, at least they have that top 25 win in Notre Dame to maybe lock themselves into the number 4 when it comes to the final college football playoff rankings. It's just cause for concern, this matchup, if USC does move up to 5, which I think they should. Because they're playing their best football right now and at the right time. The Fighting Irish have been giant killers. Don't put away Notre Dame just yet. They have found ways to beat the best of the best. And they've also found ways to lose football games that they should. But they beat Clemson this year already, North Carolina this year already, Syracuse this year already. So don't knock out the Fighting Irish just yet. I'm excited to see the fluctuation come tonight when those college football playoff rankings are pieced together. Now I think is a good time to really sit back and say, okay, I think I know how things are going to look in 2 weeks. It's kind of bizarre that they start putting out these rankings so far in advance because you get the situation of the Tennessees of the world when they just drop out of it completely. And at one point, they were listed at 1. It's crazy. Now happening tonight, Creighton, Arkansas. Creighton, 13 turnovers for that Blue Jays team in the first half. Guess how much they ended with, Shane, in that basketball game? Texas Tech, Creighton, 13 turnovers in the first half for the Blue Jays. How many did they end with?
I'm going to go 18.
They ended with 13. They did not turn the ball over one time.
Well, that's impressive.
In the second half.
That's
very
nice.
much so.
Yeah.
Choppy and sloppy in the first half, but, man, they got back to their old ways quickly in the second. First road game of the year. Coach McDermott said it best. Probably just a little anxiousness mixed in with some nervousness. Also their first ranked matchup of the year. All 5 Creighton starters, though, ended in double figures. Baylor Shireman had a double-double. The hold-your-breath moment of Ryan Kalkbrenner when he went down and twisted his ankle, sprained his ankle probably is a better way to put it. But he did come back into that game, and thank goodness he did. Because you lose a rim presence like him against a team like Texas Tech, and it could have been a major point swing without having that big body in the middle of the floor. Texas Tech coach Mark Adams came out of halftime, or at the end of the game, said when Creighton came out of halftime, it was like they punched them in the mouth. And I thought that was the perfect analogy because Creighton did outscore them 23-12 out of the gates, and they just kept compiling points and scoring and scoring and scoring and just putting that Texas Tech team away. Creighton not only battled through adversity in this game, they showed how dominant they can be in the second half. I said it at the beginning. I'll say it again now. They're going to be a dangerous team down the stretch. Once we get into college basketball March Madness play, this Creighton team's going to do damage.
And they're hot.
They're a 1 seed for sure. No doubt in my mind. I look at this team up and down the roster every single day, and I sit back and say they're a 1 seed. They're just going to keep climbing the rankings, people. I'm telling you. They will. They will absolutely do that. They get Arkansas tonight, who are the 9th best team in college basketball, Creighton being 10. So this sets up for a very exciting game. Of course, the Maui Invitational. Did you see, anybody else out there see the shirts the coaching staff and the bench was wearing the Hawaiian button-up shirts. Those are sick. Somebody's got to find me one of those. I would rock that all day, every day. That is such a sick shirt. And I'm going to Punta Cana next April, and I need a shirt like that while I'm there.
I'm sorry, you're going where?
Punta Cana.
What is that?
It is a place in the Dominican Republic. In April, my buddy's getting married. Can't believe I dropped $1,500 to go to this dude's wedding, but I did because it's in Punta Cana. So, of course, you guys will be missing me during that time.
Wouldn't it just be cheaper to go to
Old Dominion.
It would be. It would be a lot cheaper to go to Old Dominion. But Old Dominion, not as warm.
in April?
Yeah, not as warm.
Old Dominion.
Nope. I mean, even Ba sounds somber saying that.
I apologize.
Which I love listening to him on every Creighton basketball.
Meet me at the rim.
Yeah, it's in Norfolk,
Man
Virginia.
down, man down.
Virginia's got to be cold in April. I mean, Shane, Omaha is cold in April.
Ooh. Me likey.
No, I don't. In town, Creighton and Omaha play at Baxter Arena at 7 o'clock tonight. That's the women's programs, of course. Creighton 4-0, Omaha 3-1. So don't sleep on the Mavericks in this one. And then if you're out in Lincoln, maybe catch the women, the Nebraska women up there taking on Tarleton. That is what we have slated up for tonight. Hopefully, you can find some peace of mind when you're sitting on your couch tonight and thinking about, where you see your favorite teams ending up down the stretch of the season. Kind of like I do. I like to sit back, reflect, and just, look toward the future. I like to live in the moment, but I also like to look ahead and be like, man, how awesome would it be to watch this team there? And you get to watch them now and think about that for when they get there. So just a ton of fun basketball games tonight. Also, we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow on Morning Dump. DB will be back, and because it's the day before Thanksgiving, we're going to do a Thanksgiving draft. And what that entails is we'll do a little snake action, randomize the order. We are all going to take a main dish, a pair of sides, a dessert, and a drink that we think are the best when it comes to your Thanksgiving spread.
Oh, I see.
And we'll compile those results, put them on Twitter, at Hurrdat Sports. We'll have DB share it at Damon Benning. I'll share it at Andrew Rogers TV. Shaner will share it too. And we'll find out what party you would end up at. And I'm not saying this is not I want to hang out with DB, so I'm going to DB's Thanksgiving. Like, no, you're basing it all off of the food, the sides. Well, the sides are food, the dessert, and the drink.
Just remember, my party,
I DJ sometimes, so I got all kind of music.
mine would be happening.
Hey, we're all about having a party here on this show. But I really want to know where people would end up based on those results. We'll have that Thanksgiving draft tomorrow on Morning Dump. Wipe, get on with your day. Catch us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or, you can always follow us on social media as well. I dropped the handles. I'll say them again. At Andrew Rogers TV for me, at Damon Benning for DB, and for the show at Hurrdat Sports. We'll see you tomorrow.